Okay, let's continue. Let's drill through to PT 1000. Permission lists contain a collection of authorizations. Those can be pages, components, processes, libraries, integrations, queries, and many more items. Now, it used to be simple. If I wanted to access a component, I just had to make sure the component was in the permission list, in this list. And if I wanted to query some records, well, let's go over here to query. I just had to make sure that the records I wanted to access were granted through this permission list. So historically speaking, if you see an item in the navigator, then you should have access. But what if you land on the page and you see a message that says, you are not authorized to access this component? Historically, that was a mismatch between navigation and permission lists. It was rare, but possible. But the permission list ultimately allows or denies access. Okay, now a modern scenario. Let's say you log in and you have a tile on a homepage. Now, the presence of the tile means you can access the target. This is historically the way permission lists work. If it's in your navigator, you can use it. Tiles are navigational items. But let's say on the face of the tile it reads, you are not authorized to access this component. Now that's strange. What does that mean? It means the face is also a component. And while you might be authorized to access the target, you aren't authorized to access the face. This is what I mean by it used to be easy. Just one permission for the component navigation. Now we have one for the target, one for the tile face, and if the target uses pivot grids, then we also have one for the pivot grid query. Today we require up to 3 authorizations to truly access a component. Now, here we are reviewing the query security. We cover query in another lesson. In that lesson, you'll learn that we can query any table in the PeopleSoft database as long as we have security access to the record definition. Query security is a combination of permission lists and trees. From the Query tab of the permission list, I can see the tree grants. I can then navigate to Query Security. Let's grab one of these trees. And let's navigate to Query Security and Query Access Manager. And let's find this tree. And we see what records are visible in this tree. Let's grab another tree. That one was a little bit boring. Let's go back to PT 1000. Query. And then recent places, Query Access Manager. And we see a handful more records. These are records that the logged in user would be allowed to view if the logged in user had the permission list authorization PT 1000. And if we work that backwards, we saw PT 1000 is attached to employee. Employee is attached to A Brown. So when A Brown logs in, if A Brown has access to query, then A Brown can query these records.